the enthusiasm, just the energy that was palpable moments ago, just fantastic. It's truly contagious. And I think driven large measure by the fact so many entrepreneurs are in this room. And when entrepreneurs get together, there's just a natural enthusiasm and energy that kind of bubbles up. But I was struck by, as we sat here, just how blessed we are, truly blessed we are to live in a city like Louisville, to be in a state like Kentucky, to be in a region of the country like we are. And I moved here 20 years ago and have been blessed to raise a family here. The quality of life, the fact that one of these finalists here, when I first met them, I won't single them out, don't want to, lead the witness as far as the competition is concerned, but one of the CEOs that was featured here was, I believe, in the first grade and lived next door to me when I first moved to town, which is awesome to see how things have come in this city, that it's that kind of a world. But you think about this, what would allow a city like us not just to win a competition and have Steve come back again? I met Steve the first time, I think, 2 years ago when you were here. And we had an opportunity to talk about the potential of this city and the upside that was before us if we were to tap into it. But to have you come back again to invest in us, it takes a city that has a sense of vision. It's been said that without vision, the people will perish, and this is true. I think it's true for a state. I think it's true for a city. I think it's true for a company. That if you don't have a vision, you're not going to be successful. So what is my vision? The vision that I have, this is my first political job. I am an entrepreneur. I've started or been an initial investor in probably 10 or 12 different companies. And some have had great success and some moderate success and some not so much. But that's the nature of being an entrepreneur. It's the thrill of the chase, the idea of taking an idea and turning it into something, a seed in the ground, and then applying whatever degree of fertilization and water and irrigation and cultivation and whatever other Asians you need to put in there, and a lot of patience to allow that little seed to germinate and to take root and ultimately to bring forth fruit. How do we do that in a city like this, in a state like this, in a region like this? I often describe this area as being a place that is the perfect place for a vision to come to fruition. In partial measure, because we have here in this place sort of this blend of Southern graciousness and hospitality and tradition all melded together with Midwestern sensibilities and work ethic and all rolled up in this magical little place called Louisville, Kentucky. And it really is an incredible little ecosystem for us to be able to grow things in. But how then do you do it? And what then is my vision? This, as I said, is my first endeavor into the political world. And I was speaking to Steve earlier. I don't particularly love the world of politics. In fact, that would be putting it graciously. But that said, I'm truly grateful for the fact that in a position like this, and others that you'll hear from momentarily at a local level and at a national level, there's the opportunity to influence the environment in which entrepreneurs work. Literally cutting red tape. You see a number of members of our team wearing this little button, a pair of scissors, cutting red tape. I've pledged to cutting 30% of all the regulation in this state in a 3-year period. We've already done most of that. And I'll tell you, this industry and this building would not in large measure be here were it not for some of the things of rolling back prohibition era regulations that frankly were not conducive to building out what this city and what this state are capable of. My vision and the things that we're doing in this administration and the people I've surrounded myself with in this administration who are also former CEOs and business-minded people who understand that not all business is good business and that regulation sometimes can suppress great ideas for no good constructive reason. People who think that way are going to help us create a generation from now, an environment in which when you ask a group full of business people in Europe, if you had to engineer and manufacture something to the highest degree of excellence in the United States, where would you start? I want Kentucky to be as instinctive in their minds as Germany was to so many of us. It's not that complicated. It really isn't. It isn't far-fetched. It's remarkably attainable. So the things that we are doing, the seeds we're putting in the ground, the efforts that we're making, the world in which we're trying to operate is creating that as a vision. And so my job as governor is to try to put in place the people and the policies and the lack of regulation to allow this to happen. Simple as that. So as part of all that, I'm so humbled and grateful to you, Steve, to your team, to those who have chosen, the folks even earlier this week that came from other entrepreneurial ventures that are starting to focus on Louisville as this magical little cradle of innovation. And we really are. And we have, and I'm telling you, in this city itself, I've started multiple companies, some of which have had exits as large as 9 figures, some of which are still ongoing concerns, but all starting here in Louisville, Kentucky, some in the basement of my home. This is possible. It is that kind of a city. And for those of you that'll be pitching tonight, bring it. Bring it with passion, bring it with a sense of hunger and urgency, because frankly, as was noted by somebody, you can't really train that. You can't really train that. It is innate within you. It's a function of how you harness that which is innate within you. So thank you for being here. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. Celebrate this day. Take a lot of notes. Exchange a lot of contacts with one another, because one of the greatest things an entrepreneur can ever do is have a great network of people to draw from. And the last thing I'll say is this: as you do exchange and as you do say, hey, maybe I can help you with that, follow up on those things. Because I have come to discover that one of the most powerful things you can ever do is to maintain a positive balance in the favor bank, if that makes sense. In other words, always be doing for someone else, because there's going to be coming a day when you need to make a withdrawal and you want to make sure there's actually a positive balance to draw from. This is a room full of people who can help you make deposits. Thank you so much. God bless you.